Let's get right into the conversation. Of course, it's time for Mjadala, court of public opinion. Now, I want to tell you, if you want to speak to us, remember to use the hashtag Kwambox and Kev. We've got two amazing guests in studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves because we have to have a fantastic conversation about the creative space. There's something going on and these guys are here to educate us about it. Hey, guys.
Hi. Hey.
Hey, Rai.
Hi.
Ume dance.
Ume open up.
Ume open up. Welcome to the show, guys. So start by introducing yourselves and why you're here.
Okay. My name is Kigunda. I'm a human rights activist, specifically dealing with artistic freedom. Why we are here, we are from the Creative Economic Working Group, where we've been championing for artistic freedom. We are calling for the Kenyan government, or rather the agencies and the lawmakers, just to make this a space for creatives to be much bigger and freer for them to be able to create, to come up with content that people can consume. Because it's a huge thing. You've been there, I've been there. We are all making content that can educate, can inform, can impact the society.
Yeah. I mean, this is the time for Kenyan content creators.
Yep.
Everybody you meet is a content creator.
Creatives on the rise.
Clearly, we're not content with the law and the act. We're going to talk about that, right?
Yeah, so my name is Odanga. I'm a lawyer by profession and human rights activist. I'm part of this incredible project between Katiba Institute and the Creative Working Group, sensitizing people on the importance of creative economy and the laws that tend to limit artistic creativity in Kenya. Yes.
There are laws that are limiting the creativity of Kenyans?
Yes. We have a very progressive constitution, the 2010 constitution, which provides for artistic creativity under Article 33, 1 of Kenya. And also under Article 33.2 provides when freedom of expression can be limited. If it's for hatred, incitement for violence, and among other things.
This is in the law?
Yes, it's in the law. And under Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya, the Constitution of Kenya is the supreme law. Yeah. And any law that tends to go against it is null and void.
So there's a law that is going against it?
Yes, there's this cap 222, the Kenya Films and Stages Act, plus its guideline, which came into effect in 1962. It's an archaic, it's draconian, that tends to limit the freedom of artistic creativity in Kenya. Even the British right now don't use such kind of laws in their country. But in Kenya, we're still stuck with it, and it's really hurting the creativity industry in Kenya at the moment.
I'm just going to go right into it. Give us an example where this law has come in, has limited creativity.
Yeah. Ever since 1962, we've seen beautiful work done by a person like Ngugi wa Thiong'o. If you remember, there was a play that he called Gekian Nenda, and it's I'll Marry When I Want. At that time, he was speaking about the issues affecting the Kenyans, and that time it was banned because it was a colonial era. 58 years ago. And then fast forward 2018, again we see a beautiful movie telling a love story, telling about African story, a Rafiki being banned again, but the same law. And there are several other laws, including, if you remember, there was a whole case about the drama play that was banned again, Shackles of Doom.
Yes.
But the same law. And so it has been stifling creatives, and so many other scripts have died before even they made it to be shot, to become movies, to become plays, and so many other things because of this archaic law. It's a very old colonial relic, and it should be amended, because if you look at the constitution we have, and then the law that we are using to regulate, or rather to give guidelines to the filmmakers and creatives, it's quite old. It's like a 58-year-old law.
This is crazy. I'm sitting here listening. Do creatives even know this is happening?
Most of us, yes, they do, but again, because we didn't have that one voice that is coming out to say enough is enough, and we need now to speak about it. How can we then work together with the government agencies? How can we work together as creatives, and then be able to see these laws amended? Because you find when, for example, Sheila's work or Kev's work is banned, it's up to them now to go to court alone. But now we are calling up for all creatives to come together so that we speak with one voice and enable us to be able to champion for the change of the law. Because unless we change the law, then things will be just as hard as they are right now.
We're going to take a short commercial break. Just ponder on that as an introduction. 16 minutes past 8 a.m. Hey, Kev, are you creating now in your head?
Playing reggae like you've never heard before. This is Vybez Radio.
Shout out to everybody who's tuned in right now. It's your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox.
And I'm Kev. Kevin.
And of course, you're on Morning Vybez, and we're having an awesome conversation right here on Jadala. And of course, before we took the break, we were talking about amending the law. So, guys, how are you going to go about this?
First of all, there's a miscellaneous bill in Parliament that seeks to amend the law. But again, what you find out is that this particular law is again developed by the government agencies. Not so much input coming from the creative working group. There's not so much consultation between the peoples affected. These are the creatives and the artists in the who are doing the content. So you find again, maybe just a one win was Section 16, which was removed again. For a filmmaker or for a content creator, then you have to there was a requirement, a very crazy one, that you have to also have your poster first of all being approved by KFCB, the Kenya Film Classification Board.
Wait, the poster for your movie?
Yes, the poster for your movie. It has again to be approved for you to be able to distribute it. And
why?
In the case
Fair
of
enough.
Rafiki, it was banned. The poster, as even apart from the movie, the poster could not even be distributed.
The trailer as well.
The trailer as well.
Yeah.
So, so you find out that that's the only section that was removed.
Even on YouTube?
Even on YouTube. First of all, now they're getting into that space, internet, and they want to control and regulate it. And we're asking, if I get my smartphone, I want to take a video, should I go then to
KFCB?
KCB and get approval before I do that?
There was this conversation about 2 years ago.
Yes.
I remember it was 2 years ago last
Actually,
year.
what happened regarding that same conversation, there was an ad that was put on the paper by KFCB, and they said that everyone should get a license before you put out your film. But if it is, especially for public exhibition, and it's monetized, of course, you have to get a license, even if it's a wedding that you're shooting. You know
I
what
put
mean?
my wedding on YouTube
If
and then I have to get a license?
if it's gonna air on mainstream TV, you need to get a license. But now my issue here is, I mean, I'm a creative as well, and I feel like it is my right to create whatever I want in this beautiful country. But then again, I feel like we're not really emphasizing the importance of regulating these things because of age appropriateness. I have a daughter, and yes, Juicy, I saw a video on DNG's Instagram of a little girl. She must have been like probably below 10 years old, twerking and doing all these things.
But that wasn't in Kenya.
But you see, it wasn't in Kenya. But how many kids are consuming that kind of content? I've gone to birthday parties, by the way, and I see little babies twerking.
But
you know what I mean?
The
fear. I feel like Kenya is a very conservative country. We have certain values that, especially people from our, yes, we do.
Sorry, I was asking if we have values.
Well, probably Christian values, especially from the older generation, and people have lived by this.
Which ones? These corrupt ones?
Well, come on, our parents.
No, the ones that were stealing from Cooperative University.
My parents didn't steal anything.
Sorry, the ones from KEMSA.
Hey, relax. But I'm saying, they feel like there's a way things are supposed to be working. We've lived in a society where things worked in a certain way. Huku unacheki watoto wakidance in some ratchet manner, if you know what I mean. And personally, as a parent, I'm fearful of my daughter's future when I see certain kinds of content that I'm not comfortable with just being aired aimlessly like that. And I think that's the problem that I think the government has. I don't know what you have to say about that.
What I say is that KFCB, it's Kenya Film Classification Board. It's their mandate to be able to classify work according to the age, according to the timing and everything. So for them, is to say, hey, this film should be watched at this particular time. And you remember when we were growing up, then there was The Bold and the Beautiful. And the moment some of us who were quite young at that particular time would see that program coming on, we definitely go to bedroom. And this control was even much made by parents. They are the parents who are taking control and telling you this program is for the grown-up, go on. So what you find in a society we're living on, so also we as parents, we are also negated our mandates. And now we are leaving it to everyone to do it for us. So for the content...
But parents are saying there's a lot of content out there. It's almost hard for them to actually keep up with this and you know.
It is now for KFCB, and now for these other content that they have to get for regulating, it's up to them to say these films should be watched by this particular age or this particular kind of people at this particular kind of time. But you cannot say by killing the entire creativity, by just restricting. A lot of resources go into making these films. You can imagine how many days they spent on site, how many days they spent paying actors and paying for the crew, paying for all these things, and even the creativity that comes with that particular particular film. So for you to tell me this is completely restricted and it's not going against the Constitution, because the Constitution stipulates very well the moment where Article 33 can be stifled and the moment where you can be denied, to produce or to distribute a kind of content. So if I'm within the Constitution and within the laws, then why should I be totally banned or totally restricted? So,
but this brings the point that Rai was talking about, where that's the Constitution, that's the law, but then there's the Act from 1952. That's saying something different. Is there a contradiction in how this is enforced, and how do they decide, are they going to follow the law or the Act?
Well, you find now what we call moral fabrics in the society. Again, it's very hard. It's a bloodline to be able to define what's
what's moral fabric?
Yeah, it's very, very hard for it's what has been used mostly to restrict content in this country. And you find then what's good for you, it's not good for me, necessarily good for me, and what's good for Kev is not necessarily good for me. So one man's food is another man's poison. So we really need to be very tolerant as a society. We need to accept that we're different in many ways, and then how can we live together? And with this, then it's how we come with then we go back to the Act and say, can we now come back to 2020 from 1962 and then see how then we can move forward with such laws. If you look at a country like South Korea, we began almost same time our industries, and then they were a military state. And you look where they are right now in terms of producing. You look at a country like Philippines in terms of producing content, and Nigeria, look at South Africa. Again, you find as a country to me baki behind because again of what we call moral fabrics, which are not quite.
But if I can cut you short, I don't know if you remember that story. There's a vernacular artist, a Luo artist, and you probably don't know the meaning of this. He released a song called Merunya Kure, and this one, Ezekiel Mutua, the CEO of KFCB, actually charged this particular artist, and he was fined. The content of his song was, my God, it was scary. Trash.
Wait, was it political?
It wasn't political, it was just like talking, it was sexual.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But let me ask you a question.
Now, if you put that kind of content out on mainstream media,
let me ask you a question.
It's scary. And kids are consuming this kind of content.
I like that.
So it begs the question, I mean, where are we heading to?
All right.
Creatives are saying they want, okay, what do you think?
We're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to listen to Vybez Cartel's round.
Catch the vibes on air and online.
Atiso hiyo ngoma ilikuwa inaongea jua nini?
Ilikuwa inaongea akibedhe. This is a downer for real. Alright, so hii track ilikuwa inaitwa Merunya Kure.
What does that mean?
Meru is where's your mama from? Right? And the lyrics were just bad. They were downright dirty.
As in, so you're saying they were content that should not be consumed by someone under the age of 18.
Yeah, but it was on mainstream media, and that's the problem that I have with
so
creatives.
Why was he...
Take responsibility for your content, because unafakujua, the kids out there, some of us are coming from a conservative background. We get trippy about looking at all these kinds of things. Listen, I miss the olden days.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Remember when TikTok, when lockdown started, there's this song that became the biggest trend. Banana. Right?
Yeah.
Families were dancing to it. Yeah. Kids were dancing to it.
Yeah.
What does that song talk about?
I don't even know because I didn't consume that song.
What is banana?
Yeah.
So I think maybe
same thing as sugar cane. So you know the idea that when it's offensive from Kenya, it has to be shut down, but you're allowing that same market to consume stuff from outside, speaking about more vulgar stuff, is ridiculous. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. So what we will say, maybe Ray can add on to that, is that let the consumer decide what they want to consume. For the creative, let them be creative, imaginative, and let them produce this content. Because
responsibly.
According to what we define, again, it can be a very relative word. We need to tell creatives, need to imagine the world, need to tell their story without being stifled. And then the consumer, again, you find out nowadays the creative is the consumer. We've all become creative. We've all become producers. We're producing content. I know each and everyone, when they're creating something, they already have target audience. And I know this is the specific people I'm targeting to listen into. We all more often to hold each other accountable. As creatives, I'm also saying, yes, it's true, we need to hold ourselves accountable. Again, as media stations, we need to hold ourselves accountable. Maybe I need to know what time to play which particular song and when not to play. Again, it depends with the target audience you are working towards. So, but when we bring some, we say things should be restricted, again, because maybe it's not working for this certain group, they're not about the other group. And maybe Ray can add on to.
Ray. I want you to react to what Kevin was saying. Is this part of the fight?
Yeah, you know, guys, the moral fabric of the Kenyan society is not so weak that it can be shaken by such things like the content that is being decimated by the creative in Kenya. The creative industry is not against the issue about regulating the industry. They don't have a problem with that, but let it be done in a proper way, as per the provisions of the Constitution, Article 33, Article 33.1, Article 33.2. And also, the KFCB should not be the moral police. Their work is just to tell us where, when, and how the information is supposed to be decimated. Let the consumer decide what they want to take, what they want to consume. They can do that through grading or giving the age appropriateness on how to watch on what they can consume. The current archaic rules that we have, they don't apply where they came from. In UK, where they don't have such kind of law, what they do, they grade it. Is it watchable by this age group, this age group, this age group? Whatever they did to Rafiki was not something that ought to have happened, and that's what we are against it. For example, now, when Wanuri Kahiu, a very celebrated producer,
shout out Wanuri,
yes, and a member of the Creative Economy Working Group, took the script to the Kenya Film Club.
Was it approved?
Yes, it was approved.
So wait, so they looked at it.
Yes.
Let them go shoot.
Yes.
Let them go spend their resources.
Yes.
And then now when they bring it for classification is when they banned it.
Yeah. Now the funniest part is they even told them to amend the script.
Oh, really?
Which they did. Then it was endorsed. Amendment plus the license that was given. Now those are two. Now when they applied for the movie to be distributed, for the posters to be distributed, that's where the problem started. In fact, the issue is not even about the issue about gayism and lazyism in the movie. At the end of the movie, if you've watched the movie, there's this happy ending to the movie. There's a song. But now what KFCB wanted to do, they wanted the ending of the movie to have a somber mood.
Like
a somber mood,
like
a somber mood, to show that such kind of content, it's not accepted in the society.
I'm okay with that,
now you see.
Wasn't there another movie that was banned? I think in 2006. It was a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. Can't remember the name.
It was by G2 Films. Yes. I remember that. So they decide the content that goes into the movie.
And maybe what I can add into what Ray is saying is that, meaning if I watch Vampire Diary, I'm not going to suck your blood. I'm not going to be a vampire.
Are you sure?
So if I watch an action movie, I'm not going to be Rambo and beat people. So by saying that watching this particular kind of content then will make you behave in a certain manner, that's honestly, it's a fallacy.
That's the government's fear.
I
guess so.
Now, in addition to that, our own celebrated actor and Grammy Award winner, Lupita Nyong'o, in the movies 12 Years.
I like that you said Oscar Award winning, Grammy Award winning. You know, people don't.
You're on the ground, for real.
Now, in the movie that made her win the Oscars, she depicts slavery. In our constitution, slavery and slavery is not allowed.
Thank you.
But does that mean that she advocates for slavery? That is artistic creativity. So you cannot control. So you cannot control the mind of an artist. You cannot control it.
Is that what you guys are fighting?
Yes, that's what we are fighting. We're fighting against this archaic Cap 222, and there are two ways in which it can be amended. Piecemeal and patchwork, whereby you target specific provisions, sections that tend to go against the Constitution.
Like which one?
Now, if you look at from the Kenya Films and Stages Act. It has got so many unconstitutional provisions in it. First of all, for you to have posters, the one that Ken has talked about, the issue, Section 16 on the issue about posters, for you to have posters around, posters and banners, as per now, you must seek permission from KFCB and alliances for that.
To put up a poster for my movie.
But now, thanks to the petition that we filed, petition 313 at the High Court, impugning sections in Cap 222 through the Statutory Miscellaneous Amendment Bill of 2020.
Yeah.
They've removed Section 16.
Oh, wow.
Now Section 16 now is in tandem with Article 33(2) of the Constitution on when freedom of expression can be limited. Do you know that there's even a section that states that for one to shoot a movie, you have to have a policeman, and the policeman can determine, if you go against the script, he can determine whether
Wait, that sounds colonial.
Yes, whether the shooting can go on.
At their own discretion.
Yes,
wow.
whether the movie can go on or not, including use of force. They can even decide to shoot you at the same time.
And confiscate your
equipment. Yeah,
they can do that. They're allowed by this particular.
What does a policeman know about being creative?
Nothing at
Exactly.
all.
That's the thing you're asking. And again, when it comes to when you're shooting, you decide to change a
Shooting
scene.
what?
Shooting a film.
Okay,
Sorry.
'cause-
Yeah, we are
'cause we're
shooting a
still
film.
talking police.
When you're shooting a film and decide to move even a scene, or probably because of there's a weather change or there's something you decide to change again, KFCB can deny your license or can revoke your license because they'll say you've definitely altered the script.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So these are laws made, colonial, those pre-colonial time, just to make sure that Africans do not tell their stories, Kenyans do not share what is happening to their society and affecting their society. And then they had to make sure there's a police officer there. When you change a script, kidogo, if you have to get again a license, go for approval and come back and shoot.
How would you amend this? How would you amend this without removing the police officer?
Now, this is what's happening. Majority of the sections of the provisions of the Kenya Films and Stages Act are unconstitutional. Most of them.
Yeah.
So here, there's not issue about piecemeal and patchwork.
Is to remove it.
Is to remove it completely, to repeal it completely. In fact, when the judgment for the petition was being issued, with regards to, there are also guidelines with that.
Yeah.
Those guidelines, the KFCB guidelines of 2012, they were never gazetted. So they don't have statutory undertones on them. They're completely unconstitutional. The judge did comment on that, but what he did, he gave KFCB 1 more year to ensure that the guidelines are in tandem with the Constitution.
Has the 1 year lapsed?
The 1 year, because the judgment was issued in April the 29th of this year, and that is why we are proceeding to the Court of Appeal with regards to the issue of the Cap 22 laws of Kenya.
All right, 21 minutes to 9 a.m. It's crazy. If I want to go shoot a movie right now on the streets, a cop can stand
cash.
there and then he me so many script where msichana
script.
si wanafaa kukia sebu wakisi tena.
This is the Morning Vybez on Vybez Radio.
For the girl them, Jadidi. Girl them team. For the girl them king. For the remix. Who the Kenyan girl them a wine what? Jadidi. She got gorilla gang, hey.
Yo, shut me up on the mic, yo.
Let's go.
Kadem kanadai nikaguse samosa, kanajua nile boy wa masosa. Kanadai kuiskizia kwa trouser. Big body girl just wine and come closer. Samosa, acha niguse samosa. Samosa, big body girl just wine and come closer.
I man, I had the bun with me have a temper. But this little chick, she calm me down, she come from Kenya. Jadi did me brother give me it and him no member. Him a touchy cousin auntie dep on me agenda. Work, she a work, she a work, she a work. Mad in her head is like she just pop a perk. Wine she at work, she a split, she a squirt. Samosa so fat, she got thunder skirt. Come here baby, bubble up, no feel the yardie. Telling everybody, say me love your body. Boy like a me fly, you go Miami. About that baby, I tell her daddy.
Kadem kanadai nikaguse samosa, kanajua nile boy wa masosa. Kanadai kuiskizia kwa trouser. Big body girl just wine and come closer. Samosa, acha niguse samosa. Samosa, big body girl just wine and come closer. Balance and broke it, then wine and sit down so. Singles a kidingo, me never know your bad so. Every girl wine is single, my amboso. No ginya dide gicheza na boso. Samosa yake soft car lotion ya Vena. So tapen syndrome na ifanya Las Vegas. Just get a gashi tell me honey ya manita. Ma auntie watamunita spine antita. Kadem kanadai nikaguse samosa. Kanajua nile boy wa masosa. Kanadai kuiskizia kwa trouser. Big body girl just wine and come closer. Samosa, acha niguse samosa. Samosa, big body girl just wine and come closer. Balance balance and broke it, then wine and sit down. So singles a kidingo, me never know your bad so. Every girl whine is single my amboso. No ginya didegi cheza na boso. Samosa yake soft car lotion ya Vena. So tapen syndrome na ifanya Las Vegas. Just get a gashi temi honey ya manita. Ma anti watamu nita spaini antita. Kadem kanadai nikaguse samosa. Kanajua nile boy wa masosa. Kanadai kuiskizia kwa trouser. Big body girl just wine and come closer. Samosa, acha niguse samosa. Samosa, big body girl just wine and come closer.
Samosa, girl them ting. A remix. Giga. Samosa, Giga gorilla gang. Samosa, big body girl just wine and come. Bella.
It's Morning Vibes with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox.
Kev.
18 minutes to 9 a.m. I hope you're loving the vibes that are coming through your stereo. That was Samosa, the remix by Jadidi and Brahma. And I got a question that's being asked here on Twitter, which got me thinking. Okay, under this constitution and the act, it means that we can't shoot zombie movies in Kenya.
Yeah,
because they're dead people.
Yeah.
I don't think your script will make it.
Yeah.
The shooting, I don't
What
know.
is wrong with zombie movies?
They'll scare kids.
But you can allow
We
men.
don't want scared children.
You can allow men with their panties on TV to be fighting.
Well,
As
those are
entertainment
strong men.
at 9 p.m.
Those are strong men that
At
we
9
should be
p.m.
looking up to.
8 p.m. Kwanza. 8 p.m. WWE ko hapo hapo. Unaona?
Yeah.
But they used to give that disclaimer. Don't practice this at home. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines because there seems to be people who want to call and ask questions. Are you guys cool with questions?
Yes.
All right. Let's go to Ngong. We have Jonte. Jonte, good morning.
Good morning, Kwambox.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Ngong tuko fiti.
Hata si tuko fiti. Uko na swali unataka kuuliza?
Mi hata nataka kushukuru kwanza hawa wageni wako kwa studio.
Mm-hmm.
They are so educative and I want to say that hii Kenya Film Classification Board over time and again it has been used to curtail the talent and the passion of many Kenyan youths.
Wow.
Kwa sababu unapata hizo sheria yenyewe wako nazo, they are draconian and archaic because the constitution stipulates that there are certain freedoms and rights that are inalienable. One of them is the freedom of expression and the right to privacy. And I can see that even if you have a smartphone and you want to shoot a movie, or we have seen from civilized world that even a movie can be shot from an iPhone phone and it becomes a blockbuster.
Yeah, man.
And here in Kenya, it is even you want even to shoot even a 5-minute video, you have to approve, you have to get licenses, you have to fanya nini.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that are unconstitutional. And the constitution states, I have heard them say that there are certain parts of the act that are unconstitutional. And the Constitution is the supreme law of the country. So it says that any law that is unconstitutional and is against the Constitution should be repealed. Yeah, so I am for them that it is high time we send a message to those barbaric and archaic old men that our film and our talent should not be put under. You cannot light a fire and put under a bed. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jonte. I'm sure you've heard what Jonte has to say there from Gong. And we can read some messages. I'm seeing how wali produce Rafiki kama movie ndio hawakujua wangeifanya animation. Alafu waandike Disney World. Yo, but I mean, you've heard what Jonte has to say, and I think this has been the what youth feel, that it feels like KFCB is just like, as soon as you start being creative, they're like, no creativeness here. Excuse me, creativity is only allowed from abroad. All right, let's listen to Don Patty. Don Patty, good morning.
Good morning too.
Habari asubuhi. Hello.
Nanibamba. Na topic ni kali sana na tunasikia hizo vitu zenye wanasema na hao watu wako huko. Ani vitu zinatuandamana sana jujue. Sasa hizo vitu wanaweka hapo hivyo ni vikwazo kwetu jujue. Once kuna vitu creative, hizo vitu zote wasema ni lazima tufuate, zitakuwa hard to kwetu. Unajua hata tuandamana from the word go.
Yeah.
Hadi nikiwa hapa hivi nitaogopa kureach out huko hivyo, unajua kuna zile zile vitu wameplace mbele yetu.
Stipulation.
Yes. So itakuwa tu ngumu sana. Utakuta mimi nimegive up na nimekaa tu hapa hivi juu at the end reach out. Itakuwa tu ni kitu ya bure tu, nitaenda tu kunisumbua. So wanatuandament tu kabisa hadi nafanya tusiende mbele. Tuna give up tu mbele kabla tupetu hapo hivyo mbele.
Don't party when you filmmaker.
But then huko yani hiyo content huko ndani yangu, but unajua bado sijafika hapo hivyo. But vile nimesikia imani discourage you. Bado mimi huandika content na huko nazo. But wajua ziko na message, but hiyo message unajua haiwezi kuwa evident from the word God kwa script.
Okay.
Kuna zile zileta katikati na mwishoni. So tunacheki.
Okay. Thank you so much, Don Party.
So from the
I gotta let you go, Don Party. I don't know if you heard what Don Party said. He says he's a content creator, and sometimes the content can come while you're shooting. Yeah. So the things could change. So you're saying, according to the Constitution right now, or rather to the film act, it is illegal.
Yeah, I mean, if you've given a script and already that script has been approved, it's very hard to change it when you're shooting. Again, unless you go and seek another approval from KFCB for you to be able to go again.
Sasa tutashoot movie ama tutaclassify movie.
That's why tunasema it's quite retrogressive, and that's why we're asking for a freer space, for conducive space. Ndio watu kama John wasikuwa wana feel discouraged, wasikuwa wana feel like this content sasa hata nikipeleka pale haitakubaliwa. If ukiangalia kwa progressive states kama vile US, unaona wana shoot film even against the president na inakuwa approved and it's a big blockbuster. Kenya jaribu.
Kombali. Haya, unatupiga usko pina unaitwaje? Hello.
Ni aje Kwambox?
Fiti sana. Tunaongea na nani?
Huu ni Maddox Dingi.
Maddox, karibu sana kwenye show.
What's up?
Hiyo story vile naisikia vile napeleka hivyo. Inaharibu, yani inavunja roho za talanta ya Kenya na vile Kenya tuko creative sana. So unajua tukiwa kazia sana, contact inaisha, alafu job pia unaona get. So it is better to wa release tu hiyo story at in walegeze tu kamba, at least pia ma youth pia benefit kwa hizo ma content wanaleta through. Juu pia sisi tunalan kwa hizo ma content.
All right. Maddox, are you learning from are you supporting the amendment of the act, actually the scrapping of the act?
Yes, the repealing.
Scrap tu manzo, itoe tu Juma.
All right. So okay. Thank you so much, Maddox. You can hear that you've got a lot of support, a lot of young people who probably didn't even know that these were the challenges that were against them.
Let me ask you something. Do you think it's possible to regulate the content on the internet? Is it really possible? Because there's so much content being produced by the second, by Kenyans.
It's millions and millions of content that being produced.
It's not practical, I think.
It's not practical, and that's what we're saying. When this law came into effect, that was back when the country had only 8 million people. Now we have 47 million. Are you going to control 47 million people creating? And maybe let's say even ukitoa watoto maybe to 30 million people now with their smartphones being able to create content. So what we are saying is just give guidelines that will be enabling. Let's create awareness that people should create content that is good for their consumers according to what consumers are asking for. And then from there, if something goes against the constitution, again we say then the law will take its course.
Alafu, now you mentioned South Africa as being one of the powerhouses, like even Nigeria, of the creative industry in Africa. What do you think this industry in Kenya has to do to mush countries like South Africa, Nigeria and the likes?
Yeah. If you look at Kenya, we have a very young population. youthful population, and people are very smart. By the way, Kenyans are always ranked among the very smart people.
100%.
People are very creative. Yes. It's just when we do away with such laws that are really discouraging, such laws that are really stifling the efforts of these young people trying to create ile content pale kwa mtaa. To allow watu kwa mtaa when they tell their stories how they want to tell their stories in the most beautiful African stories way, and then with that, if someone goes against the constitution, you can do that. Because if you look, there's a research done in 2020, and it was saying 2019, sorry, it was saying that the Kenyan creative industry can contribute to 10% of the GDP.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that's huge. So kama mimi ningekuwa hapo kwa mali making these decisions and I'm a lawmaker, I would say, why can't we tap into this potential?
So for how much is the industry worth? So far?
It
was the last time I think PricewaterhouseCoopers said that the entertainment industry. Including film, music, was $1 billion industry.
Kenya?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It has created so much employment.
And that's not even living up to our potential.
Yeah. Including you and me and other people now.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot to think about. So where are we now?
So as we are now, we can say that the creative industry has stagnated. It has stagnated. By the time when the court gave conservatory orders for Rafiki to be shown for a period of 7 days for it to be nominated for the Oscars, Wanuri had lost more than 7 million within that period.
Imagine.
And when the court gave an order for the movie to be shown in all the movie theaters in Kenya, the tickets were sold out. So by that time in 2018, by 2017, Wanuri had lost millions. What about now? Now we are in 2020.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. And to add on what Ken has just said, we have got very good comparative analysis from states, from powerhouses which have got the best practices with regards to regulating the creative industry, from South Africa, Nigeria, England, UK, US, with the Kenya Film Certification Board, working hand in hand with the Creative Economy Working Group, can sit down and come up with such guidelines to enable the creative economy to grow. There are lack of jobs, and there are so many youths out here who have got the content, who are talented with the artistic creativity that can make them earn a living, boost the economy, and uplift the creative industry within Kenya. Yes.
I mean, there's so much to think about, and I know that there are a lot of young people who are listening in right now. How do they join the movement?
Yes, you can get us on Freedom, whether you're on Facebook, you can get us as Freedom of Expression. If you're on Twitter, then you can get us at Freedom KE. And let's join the conversation. We also have a website. You can check what we do, and their contact information there, freedom.co.ke. And then we can be able to see how, as young people, we can expand this creative industry and tap into such a huge potential for us to make a living. Tumejua maisha imekuwa very hard this year, and so we should not make it harder for the young people to earn a living for their country.
Yani, you want to tell me, will the government refund her in case like the...
Never ever, Kwambox. You're asking an answer or a question?
I just want to know, like...
You produce content, by the way?
Yes, I'm a radio producer by
profession.
That's interesting.
Thank you guys so much for coming through, taking the time to dance with me this morning, and also
check out that video, by the way. Kwambox alifanya lawyers akaanza kudance kwa studio.
Rai is the best dancer out of everyone. Lakini karibu azirai man.
Catch the vibes on air and online.